we don't say to anyone, I could use a little help. We choke it down. We keep it to ourselves. We think that if we say something to someone else or a group of people, especially if they've known us for a long period of time, that it'll be viewed as weak. There'll be predatory, comments back to us. And it just couldn't be further from the truth. My name is Brian. I help executives inside of corporate America transform their personal life to become as successful as their professional careers have been. I am an expert at this because I did it myself. I sat in your seat for 2 decades. I am not special. If I can do it, so can you. Welcome back to the show. This is the Success Lift podcast. I am your host, Brian Pannuzzo. This is episode 215. Welcome to July 2024. I don't know when you're going to be listening to this, watching this, hopefully on YouTube. YouTube subscribers, by the way, slowly but steadily growing. I wouldn't mind throwing a little gasoline on the fire. If you could head over to YouTube and hit the subscribe button, I would greatly appreciate it. If you're already subscribed, let somebody know about it, all right? I do my hair every time for these shows. I typically at least shave ever so slightly. I put a little deodorant on. That's for me, not for you, not trying to smell myself the entire time that I'm talking to you. But I would appreciate if you go check me out on YouTube. I'm not the worst thing to look at in the world. Slightly crooked nose, 2 broken noses, taking charges, taking elbows back in the day in basketball. Just an old man now, but I can still put it down. I can still get to the rim. My jumper is still decent, except when you ask me to run up and down the court, then it struggles, just like everybody else's. I want to build upon, first of all, before I do that, before I build, I just want to acknowledge that it is July 1st. July 1st? Today is July 1st. That's right. I had to check my calendar. Half the year's gone. Like that. Gonzo. Half of the year is gone. How's it going so far? Are you on the path to doing the things that you said you were going to do on December 31st, on January 1st, after dry January ended on January 8th? Where you at? Check in. Check in. We don't check in enough. We check in on these silly days that society has told us that it's the right time to evaluate our lives. New Year's Eve, January 1st, New Year's, maybe a birthday, right? Maybe some sort of anniversary. Maybe it's your 2-weeker coming in August. A longer vacation for those of you who aren't my Wall Street bros who don't get 2 weeks off to see if you're sticking tickets in the drawer, stuffing tickets in the drawer. All right, we reflect far too infrequently. What do we do in my programs? We reflect day to day. Sometimes I have people reflect hour to hour. Time collapse the amount of your feedback. You will then get more data. With more data, enables you to make more accurate decisions or make incorrect decisions more frequently, which most people will ultimately figure out the right things to do. Funny how that all works. But it is half the year gone by, and I would encourage you to check in and reflect. And fair warning, I'm going to get more brutally honest with you in the coming weeks. I am in a season of brutal honesty in my life, and it is eye-opening. I really have ripped the Band-Aid off in a couple of areas where I just, quite frankly, was not performing to my standard. And the first step is acknowledgement and awareness. You can be unconsciously incompetent. 10 years ago, when my wife came to me and said, I don't know about our future together, I was unconsciously incompetent to that potential. She did not wake up the night before or the morning of and go, I think I'm going to let Brian know this. It just popped into my head last night. This was something brewing in my life. And so if your life feels pretty good, more on this next week. If your life feels pretty good, it's a super, super dangerous place to be. Potentially. Why not keep chasing after greatness? Why not close the gap? More on that next week. I don't even know where I was going with this. I started thinking about next week. It's July 1st. What are you going to do? Start doing something. time collapse your results. If I had more feedback mechanisms inside of my personal life, like I do inside my programs now, like my clients all do inside of my one-on-one, my executive coaching, my team coaching, and my company wellness programs, you know when you're off. You can make adjustments. You have these mechanisms in your business. Why don't you use them in your personal life? We do the same things over and over every day that create success in our professional lives, and we throw shit up against the wall in our personal life. That's a rant for another day. I want to build upon last week's conversation about alcohol because I know that it hit home for some people because they told me. I know that it got some of you thinking, most of you, many of you, some of you, whatever, definitely brushed me off. Fuck off, Brian. I don't have an alcohol problem. I drink 3 to 4 days a week. I show up every day. I'm good. I'm only 25 pounds overweight. I'm good. Actually, you know what? I don't even drink that much. I just eat like shit, but I'm good. I'm good. And so the thing that I've found, and I'm going to speak more to the men. This is still a very male dominant audience. Shout out to my ladies who listen to me on a daily basis. Daily. Maybe you do. On a weekly basis. I appreciate you. This is an email topic that I sent a couple of weeks ago because it's something I experienced firsthand. It's something that the people that I work with experience firsthand. And I just see it a lot. It's a lot. I have this conversation over and over and over and over again with guys. And some of my friends, quite frankly, are going through this right now as it pertains to removing certain things in their life. And the mistake that so many of us dumbass men make is that we think that we have to go at it alone. And so if you got my email because you're on my email list, you may have read some of the words I had to say about this, but we'll dig a little deeper. And if you're not on my email list, go to the successlift.com/join, JOIN, and get on there. If you enjoy this, you're going to love that. Point blank. And so here's something I experienced during my transformation. Take you back to that moment 10 years ago where I decided that I had to do some different things in my life to create different results. Because if you keep doing the same things and you want different results, that is some delusional shit if you think it's going to change. If you're waiting for the perfect moment for everything to line up for you to be able to just very easily change your lifestyle, good luck. You're going to have to go to war. And when I say war, I mean you're going to have to go to battle every day with yourself. That doesn't mean that when you walk out of the house, you're going to be dodging bullets, literally or proverbially. It doesn't mean that everyone is going to be out there against you, ready to see you fall. I think that concept is far overblown in our world. I don't think the resistance, remember, go back a couple episodes to the resistance is weak. I fundamentally believe that we provide most of the resistance in our lives. And it's not our environments and it's not the people around us. We just don't say anything. We don't let people know what we want. Some of you don't even know what the hell you want. But you can clearly articulate that you don't want certain things. And while that's not always a great focus, that isn't a bad start. And so if that's all you can come up with, do you know how many times I say to someone, what do you want? And they start to tell me what they don't want. That is a massive red flag that you are not focused on things that you want to achieve, states that you want to have, whatever it may be. And where your focus goes, your energy will flow. But we want to make sure that at least we have a starting point, and maybe focusing on what you don't want gets you out of the driveway, pulls the car out, gets it out onto the road so that you can start doing 50 or 60 on a small highway. We haven't gotten onto the big highway yet. So focusing on what you don't want is not ideal, but we can start there. We can start there. But you got to ultimately be able to translate that into a positive outcome. Speak towards something, not away from something, because most people get far enough away from a pain point and don't feel the pain anymore. I got far enough away from my wife wanting to divorce me. I got far enough away from waking up every day in daily joint pain. I got far enough away from not looking very good to being pretty complacent, to not having the desire that I needed to go another step further. So you're going to need both. You're going to need to go away from pain and towards motivation. And so when you do that, when you identify that, that's when the car starts to cruise at a really, really efficient speed. But what we don't do is we don't tell people what it is we're trying to achieve. We don't open up to a few people and go, this is not working for me. We don't say to anyone, I could use a little help. We choke it down. We keep it to ourselves. We think that if we say something to someone else or a group of people, especially if they've known us for a long period of time, that it'll be viewed as weak. There'll be predatory, comments back to us. And it just couldn't be further from the truth. Couldn't be further from the truth. And so maybe you do currently have a goal. Maybe it's one that you actually live like a double life, like I did. Inside the office, Brian, I was my old self. With my friends, Brian, I was my old self. Without them, I was my new guy. That was a new guy. Maybe you have a goal that you execute in those ideal environments, but you struggle in the social settings. Maybe the old you fights yourself each week, each weekend specifically, each time you have a client dinner, each time you have a round of golf, each time, you go out with friends. And that's what I screwed up. I thought I had to do it all alone. And I never actually considered that there were people out there that would help me. There were people out there that would support me. I thought I had to do it alone. I was afraid of what they might think. How fucking stupid is that? Now that I know better, it frustrates me just talking about it. I was worried about being different. How different am I now? I'm fucking doing lunges and push-ups at baseball games. A little different, still a little different. Don't really care about what you think anymore. And to think that all the time that I wasted hanging on to a version of myself that I didn't even want to be anymore. Because I didn't ask for help. Because I thought I was going to be judged. Because I thought I was going to lose friends. Because I thought people were going to sabotage me. So many people around me wanted to help. So many people around me wanted to help. Most of them didn't give a shit that I was attempting to change. A lot of them thought that it was great. Most of the people that I spent a lot of time with just wanted to be my friend because they cared about me. And so if I changed my behavior in a typical environment that we were in, they didn't give a shit. Yeah, was there some ball busting? Maybe a little ball busting. I wouldn't have it any other way though. I wouldn't want to live a life. I wouldn't want to have relationships with my friends without ball busting. That's like my love language. My love language. I grew up in locker rooms, basketball, Wall Street. It's literally what I miss most about my old life. I work from home. I'm not in an office setting. I don't have a team of people that I work with on a daily basis. There's no chopping it up. There's no like all of a sudden just take 7 minutes and absolutely gang up on somebody with love. Nobody can say something silly from across the room and everyone go, what the hell did you just say? And then absolutely pounce. I love that. I love that. The people closest to you just want you around. People closest to you want you to be the best version of yourself. People closest to you want you to look and feel your best. Some of my friends, and I think they're fucking delusional for not wanting this stuff, but some of my friends do not want the same things I want. They appear to be content, and I know this will happen. It's only a matter of time. There will either be an event that kicks them into gear, or they will stop being delusional that being 40 pounds overweight is good enough. They'll stop being delusional that constantly being in joint pain is good enough. They'll stop being delusional that their marriages are where they're supposed to be. And they'll go chase it. And others will have an event happen to them. They'll get a piece of information. They'll have blood work come back. They'll whatever. Their wives, I'm raising my hand for you now on audio. Their wives will walk into the room one day and say, I'm not so sure about this. And they'll say to themselves, just like I did, where the fuck did that come from? I'll tell you where it came from. A decade worth of my behavior it came from. And so at some point, people around you are going to figure it out too, but they don't care while you are. Yes, you're going to get some small amounts of resistance, but the overwhelming majority will be positive, will be supportive, and will help you in the environment that you're worried most about. I want you to think of a environment that you're worried about coming up this week. We got July 4th. For those of you who listen to the podcast when it drops, I love you. I love you. We got July 4th coming up. Think about something you know you have scheduled or are likely to be around during July 4th. All my friends in Bergen County, think about it. Think about going down to the beach. Think about going to Knickerbocker Country Club. Think about playing those rounds of golf, being at the pool, being in your backyard. What are you worried about if you change your behavior? I know exactly what it is. You think you're really going to get significant resistance from people that truly care about you? Do you think that if you said, let's say, stop saying you, because it feels like I'm like calling people out. Let's talk about me. When I had a drinking problem, when I had a drug problem, when I had a gambling problem, instead of doing what I did, which is tell no one that I was in a crisis and choke it all down and try to do it myself, if I would have told 8 of my closest friends, 5 of my closest friends, fuck, one person, one guy, hey man, look out for me this weekend. I got some fucking shit going on. I'm not even ready to talk about it yet, but I'm trying to change some stuff. And I'm not like going to be born again, and I'm not going to quit drinking forever, and I'm not this and I'm not that, but like, I'm just tired, man. I'm like literally this is like taking me back to the shit I should have said. I'm tired, man. I'm tired of feeling like shit. I'm tired of waking up in a fog. I'm tired of not having enough sex in my marriage. I'm tired of like my joints hurting. I'm tired of playing golf and having to put 2 fucking bags of ice on my knees. I'm tired of taking 4 Advil before I go out there. I'm tired of feeling like I have to drink every time we hang out. And so like, just check in on me. And if you see me maybe acting the way I'm articulating I do not want to act right now, just pull me aside and be like, yo man, remember we had a conversation? And that'll help ground me and bring me back. And I'm not ready to share this with anybody else, but if you could just look out for me. Do you know how supportive that person would be for you? Like, we all want to be of service to others, typically at the detriment to our own lives, to our own quality of life. If someone said that to me, I would be like, bro, let's fucking go. I got you. And yet we don't. We don't say it. We think it. We internalize it. We beat around the fucking bush with people, but we don't actually ask for it. And when we don't ask for it, we don't get the support. And then when we don't get the support, we identify the environments that we're in being the culprits of our demise. Nobody wants me to change. Bullshit. You're just not telling anybody that you want to change. And so if I could beg you this week, tell one person or a group of people that will 1,000% have your back, that you're looking to make some change in your life. And you would appreciate if they look out for you. And you want them to know that if they need anything, that they can come to you too. Hope you guys have a great week. I hope this one maybe hit you a little hard, because it would have hit me hard 10 years ago. But I know what I had to fight through, and I know what I had to change. And if I could just help one person and not struggle as much. The good news is that, as I say in the intro, I did it. And I don't say that from a glass house. I am currently doing it. But I dug myself out of a hole that a lot of people wouldn't. And so if I can do it, the good news is that so can you. You just have to pick up the fucking shovel. And sometimes you have to stop digging the hole that you're currently in. But as soon as you pick up the shovel and put it down and reach your hand out, there'll be someone there for you. And so that's my hope. Have a great week. I'll see you next week.